everyone, welcome back to my channel. Let's talk about life skills. Have you ever wondered? We have we have been focusing a lot on academics, but when we say we also need to develop some life skills, what is that combo? Well, this combo or combination is actually the requirement of this century. Where apart from focusing on your studies, you have to learn some very important life skills which are going to help you out in your career and in your life as well. So let's talk about each skill and learn how students can develop these life skills. Life skills. Life skills are basically the everyday abilities that help us deal with all the different things life throws our way. They are not about school subjects like math or history, but more about how we think, feel, and interact with others to live a healthy and successful life. Number one life skill is thinking skills. Now, in thinking skills, we have so many other different skills: decision making skills, problem solving skills, creative thinking skills, and critical thinking skills. In decision making skills, you have to choose the best path when faced with choices. In problem solving skills, we have to find solutions. In creative thinking skills, we have to come up with different ideas and different things. And in critical thinking skills, we have to look at the information very carefully, and we have to figure out what's true and what's important. Next one is social skills. In social skills, we have communication skills, interpersonal relationships, and empathy. In communication, we express ourselves, and it's very important that we have to choose very good words and very easy words, clear words, and we have to choose a good communication mode so that the other person could understand us. In interpersonal relationships, we have to build good and healthy relationships with other people. It's not about fighting all the time or having problems with the other people. In empathy, we have to understand, we have to learn how to understand and share the feelings of others. Emotional skills. Now, it involves self awareness, coping with emotions, and coping with stress. It's very important that you should know what are your strengths, what are your weaknesses, how are you feeling. Coping with emotions, managing your feelings in a healthy way. Instead of crying, instead of getting upset, instead of going into depression phase, we must know how to handle our emotions. Coping with stress. Now, dealing with pressures and challenges, it has been a very tough thing throughout the life of so many people, but we have been telling each and every one, and we tell even people right now, we tell even the children in the classrooms that they must learn how to handle the pressures, how to handle the challenges, how to handle the failures. That's okay, sometimes bad things happen, but we must learn how we can handle them appropriately, positively, how we can learn from them, and how we can learn from our mistakes, and then we grow. How to teach life skills to students with examples of activities. Now, let's talk about different skills along with the activities that we can do in our classrooms. For decision making skills, we can ask students to choose between one situation and also give a good reason. For example, what would you like to do before going to bed? Now they have to decide what they would like to do and why. Now here the reason is very important, because reason and decision, these are two important things, they are interconnected. In problem solving, you can give any kind of a problem to the students in the classroom, and they have to find a good solution for that problem, and the solution actually should match with the problem. For example, if any student is unable to find any item or any stationery or book or copy, or if any student is going through some family problem, or if any student is not happy in the classroom, what we can do to solve this problem. If somebody is having any problem with studies in the classroom? What can be done to overcome that problem? If any student in the classroom is unable to understand or learn difficult words in English, what can be done for that? So, in order to identify the solutions for the problems, it's very important to conduct this activity in the classrooms. Creative thinking, story starters. This is the best thing that can be done in the classroom. Give some starters to the students, and they have to write down stories where they will show their creativity. They can also do some creativity in their art lessons, music lessons. Critical thinking. This has been the most important skill nowadays, and most of the schools, colleges, and universities, they have been preparing their papers, their assessments, their exams using critical thinking questions. Actually, what happens in these questions, that students develop the ability to identify the fact and opinion. They can also analyze the information, that what is important here and what is not important right now. So, what activity can be done? Fact or opinion. Give students a list of statements and ask them to decide if each one is a fact or an opinion, and they have to give the reasons. Without reason, there will be no answer. Or read a short news article or a social media post and ask students to analyze it. Is this information reliable? What's the main point? Are there any biases? So, here the students will be thinking. Let's talk about communication. Any topic can be given to students. They can do some show and tell activities. They can talk about their hobbies. They can talk about any other topic. They can also talk about the holidays. So, role plays can be done. Some reading can be done. Interpersonal relationships. Here, what we can do is the teachers have to make some games based on teams. Play games that require cooperation, like building a tower out of limited materials or completing a task without talking. So, group projects are a part of interpersonal relationships, where students divide the roles among themselves without fighting, and they try to focus on their team, and they try to complete the task on time without doing arguments or without any fight. Assign group projects where students have to work together, share ideas, and compromise to reach a common goal. Empathy. Put yourself in their shoes. Read a story or show a short video and ask students how a character might be feeling and why. Encourage them to think about what they would do in that situation. Discuss different cultures or social issues to engage students. Let's talk about self awareness. In self awareness, you can do some activities related to my strengths and weaknesses. Have students draw or write about things they are good at and things they find challenging. Emphasize that everyone has both. Coping with emotions. Write different emotions on slips of paper and have students act them out without speaking. Now, it's a very has been a very popular activity, and it's a very common one as well. We can do that in the classroom without speaking. We have to show our emotions, and the next, the people or the students who are sitting there, they have to identify that particular emotion. Now, what can we can do about stress? We can do some exercise in the classroom, some group exercises, some fun activities. We can talk. We can also do a share game where we can talk about heart to heart, and any discussion can be carried out. Stress busters brainstorm. As a class, brainstorm different healthy ways to deal with stress. Now, see, discussion is a very healthy activity to cope with stress. I hope these activities were useful and they were actually practical, so that the students could actually do them in the classroom. If you like the lesson, please click on the like button and subscribe my channel. Thank you for watching. Take care. Bye bye.